Sir Alisol, fear 2 units of weight. Where weight is, we really don't want you equipping all the best gear on your squishies. I love Thea, though. I don't care. Thea can do whatever it wants. I am hopelessly biased. Okay, that's going to take a little while. After that, I need shoots and shoots and shoots and shoots and shoots and shoots. Have we got any shoots? We do not have any shoots. Okay. Let's go and drop these off. Yep. Okay, starting to charge again. We've been doing a lot of printing, so it's kind of, it is what it is. Just make me lots. Now, beyond that, I'm thinking 3 stackers, honestly. Because I might not go back there for a long time. Initially, I suspect that I will be going back there very often. But there is a potential that I won't go back there for quite some time. And if that were to occur, then I would want it storing the maximal amount of its ingots. Another autolathe, okay. In God we trust, yes, exactly. I have no idea how much we're going to need of these. I really don't. I'm going to go and eat. And when I come back, hopefully everything's ready. Oh my god. I move so fast! Right, it was at 89%. Let's see how much we eat now. And that's from hunger caution. Ooh, 10% from hunger caution. That is wild. Can I afford to let you go much further? No, let's turn that off in a little bit. 1 wheat seed. Wheat seed. Wheat seed. Seed. Yeah, that one is just producing less wheat. That's unfortunate. That one hasn't gotten to the point where it's seeding yet. Right, you are bad wheat. I no longer need to wait for seeds since I've got a full 10 stack of wheat. Wheat seeds, so I don't care. Right, so another drink. Delicious. Okay, everything's looking good.
Low pressure. Oxygen critical.
It's fine. And there we go. Is there a water solution for the longer trips? Probably building like taking everything with you that you would need to create a safe environment at your destination. I would say that's probably the only one. That's the 3 silos. Now stackers. I can make 2. But I should have plenty of iron over here. I'm going to say we're also going to want more cabling. A lot more, actually. Another thing to be aware of... Oh, God, no. Stop. Don't. Did I stop in time? They print way faster than I was expecting. I did stop in time. Good. So, I'm going to want another APC. Yeah, I think definitely another APC, another battery. That way, we're also going to want 2 kit logics. Again, I think turning off the deep drill at nighttime is going to make a lot of sense. It does mean it's only going to be up for half the time. But considering that 2 centrifuges are only just going to be able to process more than half of its output in any span of time, makes sense. So APC, perfect. So I just need 1 more battery. Then I want 2 logic readers. I feel that we're making good progress on this, honestly. I'm a little bit surprised. Oh my God. I hate you. Where did you go? I'm too slow to be dancing around after you. Oh, I do not have enough. That is going to be rough. Okay. What is an APC? Area power control. Since I listened to more reports about the Ukraine war, I associate APC with armored personnel carrier. Yeah, area power controller. You're very welcome. Right, cable. Actually, battery first. Oh, all right. It's gonna suck, but it is what it is. You can always smelt some more gabbins, but that'll happen later. Yeah, I'm actually kind of impressed that we've managed so quickly. Now, we're about due another storm soon, I think. I don't want to be out there when that happens, but it is a possibility it will. It'll usually alert us to a storm at the end of the day. Or going into the next day. I don't know. I don't know about this, but We'll do our best, I guess. It'll be a horrible drive back. It will be an absolute eyesore of a drive back if a storm occurs. Off we go. Driving towards the sun. Sorry, chat. Literally just swapped seats as I was going there. Actually, kind of impressed. Oh, I'm going in the completely the wrong direction right now. Yep, I was going in completely the wrong direction. On the plus side, beacon's working. 320 meters that way. No, 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 no. Please, Rover, come on. Can't believe we spawned right next to the map's edge, though. It's kind of interesting. $212. Yeah, we're going the right direction. More or less. No, we need to go 270. There we go. Wow, that should do. Still move that you're preferentially sitting on the left when driving. I'm fairly certain that you have to. Let me check. Fairly certain you can't drive from that side, can you? Nope. You cannot. Johnny come lately. You cannot drive on the right. I know. I know. It's terrible, but it's true. Oh, of course. That was the beacon shining. Oh, wow. Okay. I thought it was some sort of glitchy artifact of the sun. It was not. It was, in fact, the beacon the whole time. I'll turn on my own light. Okay. Battery's looking good, considering. We're going to need more solar panels for what we're about to set up, but it is what it is. Right. First up, then. How much room is this going to take? Do I want it to be behind an APC as well? I think so. I'm not sure that I'm going to have everything I need to set this up in one go. We'll have all the devices, but there's a part of me that suspects that there's going to be something I've forgotten. Come on. Whoop. We're going to need a ramp at some point as well. What? Bugger. Okay. So, first things first. Let's go and grab the deep drill. I want you the other way around. Yep, that will do. And what do I need for this? Welding torch and 12 steel sheets. Screwdriver and 5 cable coil. Oh, electronic parts. I knew there was something. Alright, well, that stays where it's at for now. Annoying, but oh well. So. Going to want the APC. So there's at least one more trip back. But I can still set up the vast majority of this without needing that. So, centrifuge will be down in this direction, 2 off. I believe you can make a flip-flop. I believe. Oh, wait, I'm putting those up in the wrong shape. That was when I was spinning the mouse wheel earlier. To be fair, considering the only thing we've had to make so far was a batch of steel, granted we did make quite a lot, but that was just from things we had around the base. Like, we didn't have to go out on a mining mission for it. We've actually gotten quite a lot of things done. Right, so the 2 centrifuges. I will need I will need some logic to turn on and off when these empty. Honestly, I could do exactly the same thing. Have at night they empty. No. No. This is probably where the icy tank starts having to be a part of this function. I need... Oh. A wrench and 2 steel sheets. Welding torch and 2 steel sheets. There we go. All done. I could have a lot of... Oh, there were 2 more things I needed as well. Sorters. I need to sort the ingots. Ah. Honestly, I could do without 3. Because what I was going to do is I was going to have the sorters push the ingot into lanes and have 3 arc welders, arc furnaces smelt the resulting ingots. So 1 furnace for each one, but I could just have 1 furnace per centrifuge. Might actually be a better way of doing it. Yeah, I think that might actually be a much better way of doing it. Okay. Our brains have not just been melted, which is good. We have been afforded a small mercy. Now. Junction. How does the flip-flop work? Do I need to manually change it? I assume not. I certainly hope not. We have enough that I can easily afford to have windows here. Does it have to be a... There we go. We want to flip it the other way. Wrong. God damn it. Is it this one? There we go. Why won't you go there? Yeah. Whoop. Oh. How will sorting work? I'll just use the sorter. It's pretty simple. I just had forgotten to print them. So there's 2 things I need to bring up. Electronic parts and sorters. Glorious. Right, there we go. Right, so this is going to move all of the dirty ore into each centrifuge. It will eventually back up, but that's what we're going to be using the nighttime shutdown to help with. But the sorting is literally going to go through two sorters. One sorter will sort all iron to the left. The next sorter will sort all copper to the left. Anything left in the third lane is, at that point, guaranteed to be silicon. That seems the simplest system to me. We'll need more solar panels for this, though. There's very little doubt in my mind that this is not going to remain energy positive. Even close to it. Kind of want to give enough room for this to stack a bunch of stuff. Pop it there. There you go. These will pretty much just be on all the time. They will need circuitry to know whether to turn on or not. So it'll literally read, is there something in there? If so, activate for both of these. This will be, is it full or throwing an error? If so, empty. Has it emptied everything? Turn back on. This one will come on and turn off at nighttime and come on in the daytime. So we've got a list of things that are an IC10. I think this is the point where IC10 starts coming into play. I think it's reasonable to say that we are now at a stage where having IC10 makes sense. This gives us enough. Realistically, there's only going to be 3 separate things in here. And actually, it's... Oh, you know what? No, there's no point in having that much room. There can only ever be 3... Like, there's not... Well, okay. 400 could be split in a couple of different 50s, thinking about it. Actually, yeah, never mind. We will have this. It might output quite a lot. None of it will be gaseous, though. So we don't need to worry about that part, at least. Gassy ore, that is. Say no to gassy ore, chat. Oh, wrong. I don't want the window midway. There we go. Yeah, IC10s are better at keeping arc furnaces activated because the logic chips trigger only on a state change. They can sometimes have problems. That makes sense. Oh, I'm stinky. I was doing so well at not getting stinky. I need to go and sit in our base for a while. May as well do this again. Right, so what are we going to need to bring back up here? A, more steel frames. B, more steel sheets. C, we're going to need electronic parts. D, more chutes. He's not expecting to run out of chutes, but here we are. 2 sorters. 3 stackers we keep for now, as well as the 3 silos. They only take a spot up each, so that's not too bad. All right. We will also want quite a few more solar panels. But final thing I can do right in the here and now, though, is to lay down the cabling. Now, my hope is that at some point we will instead switch this up to 2 centrifuges. But that is very much at some later stage sort of thing. Right now is not that time. Probably have the IC10 that handles the base over here. Okay. A little bit further to go. Again, we're going to have 2 separate 2 separate sorters that split the lanes out into 3, then stackers on each one, leading into silos that will be right over there. So it'll pretty much power on this side, probably continuing to flow out in that direction, and then an entire chain heading down here. We will likely... Yeah, we're only ever going to need 2 sorters. That's not going to scale up. But we will want an extra centrifuge and an extra arc furnace for each one. That being said, we could probably, if I'm perfectly honest, get away with a single arc furnace. As long as there was enough buffer for each centrifuge to output its gubbins, we probably don't need 2, but considering they only pull 5 watts when they're idle, it's not much of a loss. Yeah, this is iron, copper, and silicon. Yep. Yep. So, power comes from here, being managed. Goes down here. Into a deep miner. The deep miner will shut itself off at nighttime, or at least that's my plan. Its output will be split between 2 centrifuges. Oh, that are both running currently, actually. You know what? I'll leave it on. Well, actually, no. I will turn it off. There's no point in wasting the power. We don't yet have all of the solar panels that I think this system's going to need. But the idea for the system is that 2 of these can just about handle the full output of a single deep miner. If the deep miner is turning off at night for power concerns, then 2 will comfortably be able to handle it. I believe that a centrifuge will process 1 dirty ore, or sorry, about 3 point something dirty ore every minute, whereas a deep miner will produce 10 dirty ore a minute. So 2 will just about process over half of the ore coming out of the deep miner. So if the deep miner spends half the day, because the day-night cycle is literally 10 minute in this game, then that should allow 2 centrifuges to keep up. Each one of these outputs to a dedicated smelter. These will output to 2 sorters, which will filter the output into 3 lanes. And they will each go into a stacker-supported silo so that they are stacking at 500-gram ingots rather than 50-gram ingots or whatever. The stackers will all be at the end of the chain, though, rather than at the beginning. You could put them elsewhere, but... We need for the next trip. Only 2 sorters, actually. I've got the stackers and I've got the silos. What I lack, and I've got an extra arc furnace too. What I lack are the electronic parts. I didn't plan ahead enough for that. I'm also going to need another spool of cable. That draws 500. How much can that cable? I think it's 5 kilowatts. Yeah. 500, 700. How much was copper?
Power low.
Yeah. I'll deal with that. How much was copper? Copper pulls 500. That's another kilowatt. 1.5, 1.7. And then however much is used on the sorter. 5 watts, but I'm going to assume it goes up in just spikes when it's doing work. Let's plan for 100. Let's just to be on the side of caution. So that's 1,000. So that's 2.9 kilowatts, and stackers probably the same. Oh, 50, but it might be a little bit higher. You know, we're well within the 5 kilowatt range, so this one wire is good. So yeah, I need 2 sorters. That's it. And you know what? You can swap over. There you go. Job's a good one. We'll want a lot more solar panels, like at least another 4 solar panels and a basic to keep this power up. But that should be fine. All right, heading back. So we want to go at about 90 degrees, 620 meters. Once we've got this set up properly, I will probably create a little sort of not really a garage, but a parking pad, I guess. If I'm perfectly honest, I wouldn't be against making a garage into a little atmospheric controlled area, but one of the things that I had considered a possibility was potentially setting up a small grow room with switchgrass, with the and ferns, with the idea that a Larry would harvest, and it would use pump the switchgrass that it harvested. Oh yeah, you know what? Let's just go straight over. It would pump the switchgrass that it was harvesting through a recycler, put that through a furnace or a centrifuge and a furnace to generate and capture hydrogen or volatiles at the very least. Whilst the ferns are also generating oxygen. Between them, they would be able to produce enough water to sustain themselves, plus the processing of the charcoal that would produce would generate enough CO2 for them to breathe with an excess of oxygen. But then you could use the oxygen to and the volatiles, which you would have in excess more than likely, to produce fuel for a gas centrifuge. You could really go full in on the automated base if you wanted to. You could have it also generate power by pushing the extremely hot steam and waste gases from the water production through a Stirling engine if you wanted to. Some flags on the route. Actually, that's not a bad idea. I don't usually use flags, I must confess. That is not a bad idea. Right, let's get ourselves in. How are we doing? We're doing good. However, I am going to need solder. Because I bet electronic parts. Oh no, it doesn't. Okay, but the solar panels will. Oh no. It's gold, copper, and steel. Okay. All right, but first, deep miner. What do I need for that? 4 electronic parts. Wow, that's a lot, actually. Yeah, you can get really, really into stuff. Yep. You can... It's much like the oil refineries and Captain of Industry. There's a lot of ways of using waste byproducts to make stuff that's usable and effectively just leach out ever more efficiency from the system. It's actually incredibly satisfying to do. Let's go and see if I've produced enough copper. You have yet to have enough, apparently. Okay. I mean, I could just force the issue, but let's be thorough. Do we want to pop some nitrites into the system? Oh no, we got loads of nitrogen now. Okay. Got too much nitrogen now, apparently. Well done, Centrifuge. You're doing great work down there. You probably deserve a cookie, but you're not going to get one. Alas. Yeah, all of that's looking good. All right, let's go and clean up a bit. Also, let's... you know what? I'll just take this in so I can charge that in the battery inside. How's our... Yeah, we're out of CO2 now, so... Remind me to grab another one of those on the way back. Let's just pop in, take care of my needs first. Actually, no, we still had a bit of CO2 left. That's still going, which is very nice to see. Very nice to see, in fact. I thought that had bottomed out, but it has not. Excellent. 16.1 megapascals in that small pipe there with a decent bit of carbon in it. Very nice. Let's have a munch. And a drink. I moved too fast without that suit on, my lord. Okay. Oh, don't need that one. Yep, it's over 1.1, so that's good enough. You said you got stinky. It's this shower thing. There is, and it would be great if I had built one, but I haven't. So it's just time out of my suit environment, which will freshen me up a bit. But yeah, you can actually build a shower. That is something that we will build. Like what we're doing right now is we're setting up this outpost so that it'll produce a functionally endless supply of copper, iron, and silicon, which I will use to for the further mega base projects. The first of which is going to be the mega power plant. That will take over the power responsibilities of this base entirely. And in fact, I'll have this base. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to leave this base on its own independent power. There's a part of me that thinks maybe that isn't a bad idea. Having a fallback base is never bad. But a big part of it will be the mega power plant is going to be a scalable place where I'm going to be able to manage the power needs of all of the other areas of the base. So we'll have the power plant, we'll have atmospherics, which will be a much scaled up version of what we've got over there, like the giant tanks and much more aggressive filtration and cooling. Then we'll have residential, which will be my personal quarters. That will have a shower. That will have a kitchen area and some tables and chairs, a place for me to put my laptop down when I'm coding. Some couches, a bed, all of the mod cons. Then, so that's 3 areas. The 4th will be hydroponics, growing the food, also producing atmosphere and other gases. 5th will be manufacturing. So a upgraded workshop, probably with some degree of separation between the actual lathes and stuff and the furnace, which will be highly automated, ideally fully automated. But they'll, broadly speaking, all be part of manufacturing. Then the 5th is either going to be logistics, so storage, or rocketry. We'll decide which one we want to go for first. But rocketry will probably win, if I'm perfectly honest, for one simple, very simple point, is that rocketry is a source of endless ice. Deep miners will never drill ice up from the deep parts of the planet. It'll only ever drill up ore. So with enough deep miners spread across the world, we will, or the moon in this case, we will have a functionally limitless amount of all of the ores. Now, you can use rocketry for mining as well if you want, but rockets can bring ices back from space. So that would be your functionally limitless source of ice. Whether you need it or not, it's questionable, because you can happily have your base produce water from the products of plants and the likes. Oxygen and volatiles can be gathered that way. The nitrice, don't think you can. I think you actually need ice for that. You can make NO2, but you do need the nitrogen from somewhere. Why is there a suit moving outside? Oh, that's my trader robot. Yeah, got him. It's stuck. But yeah, the nitrolyzer produces nitrous, but I don't know if there is a convenient. Well, no, because the thing with deep ores, dirty ores. So the deep drill is going to give you something called a dirty ore. You put it through a centrifuge, just split it into its constituent elements, and then you smelt that. You can't smelt the dirty ore, but the dirty ore does not come with any gas. It's off-gassed ore, so you can't generate. That's why I've not built an environment around the centrifuges. You don't get any gas out of that process. They will smelt extremely clean, and I think it's the same for anything brought back from space too. So I'm not sure if there is a way of getting. Oh, check the composter. I think they produce it. Oh, really does it? Composter. Advanced composter. The advanced composter creates fertilizer out of the organic matter. It accepts food, decayed food, or biomass. It requires water and power to operate, accelerating the natural composition, decomposition, I imagine. When processing, it releases nitrogen and volatiles, as well as a small amount of heat. Oh. So, Okay, so between the composter and the hydrolyzer, I think that's what it's called. No. Volatiles combustor, or H2O combustor rather. Combust. Is it not? Yeah, H2 combustor. There we are. So between the H2 combustor and the fertilizer, you would be able to create water and nitrogen and volatiles, and you'd be getting oxygen from the plants. So you would effectively have your entire kind of breathing work gas ecosystem there. Yeah. And that's kind of one of the reasons we want the switchgrass, is because switchgrass produces by far and away the most biomass of anything, because biomass is not based on weight. One harvest of a plant is one biomass. So a potate, there's 2 biomass there, 3 if you include the seed. A fern, I think you can harvest 1 fern, I don't recall. Wheat, though, you can harvest 5 wheat and a seed, so that's 6 biomass. The switchgrass produces 12 items and a seed. So switchgrass is the best for producing biomass, by far and away. So that is definitely something that we could look into, rather than relying on ice. But there's a part of me that wants to get rockets up anyway, because rockets are going to be the next big thing, because it's the next big thing, yo. Once orbital stations are fully implemented, you're going to want rockets no matter what. Would it be weird if you could make a 100% self-sustaining thing? You can. You absolutely can. It's just you need scale. I mean, that's what the Earth does. It takes energy from the sun. Understand that your plants, that's the input. They're taking energy from the sun. That's the thing that they're not producing themselves, but everything else can be internally recycled. But you're always having to add extra energy to the system. It's not... The game is gamifying it, and it shouldn't be as easy at the scale that we play at to make a self-sustaining ecosystem. But at scale, this is absolutely possible, and it's exactly what our planet is doing all the time. Yeah, I'm playing on the beta branch. Without the sun, you can't do it, obviously. But you can also, really get into plant genetics. Like, you can really maximize things, like the minimize growth time, maximize yield, minimize respiration if you want. So, for example, soy, which needs nitrogen, minimizes respiration while maximizing its yield. Boom, there you go. You're using a fraction of the nitrogen you would otherwise, but getting more soybeans than you would have normally. You have to really dig deep into the plant genetics to do that, though. Entropy still exists, yeah. I mean, again, it is gamified, but saying, oh, well, it would be weird if you could have that. Functionally, from your perspective, Arrow, and mine, and every other of the 8 billion humans on the planet, our home planet is self-sustaining. None of us will be around when entropy has finally leached enough out of the cycle that it can no longer sustain itself. None of us will still be around by then. By many orders of magnitude of our generations will we be gone. However, by the same token then, from the perspective of your one character in this person-sized terrarium, it will take a long time for entropy to bleed the system. Yeah, on geological or astro timescales, it's absolutely not self-sustaining. But from a human timescale, yeah, absolutely is. It's why I use whenever I'm talking about infinity, or like in procedural games or infinite maps or anything like that, I always say practically or functionally infinite. Because functionally, from the perspective of the average gamer, and by and large most gamers, not even just the average, the well above average gamer. Everyone but that 0.00000000000000001% of players of Factorio, the world is functionally infinite. But there is that one person who will decide to make a train that runs from one side of the world to the next and takes 23 hours to ride with nuclear fuel. You know, for all practical purposes, the world is infinite. But you're right, you know, but let's not get caught in the weeds on it. All right, time. Have you produced? Ah, good. Okay, we got rid of the dud wheat. Okay, time to harvest. Yeah, it's actually, that's an interesting point. Earth is, well, the last time that I was reading about it, gaining mass. Again, we're talking about astrological timescales, but Earth is getting bigger, not smaller. It's not actually losing mass. Now, that's the very important part there. It's not losing mass. It may well be losing water or whatever particular element you want to name, but it is actually gaining mass over time. It was a fair old while that I saw that doing the rounds though on like science websites, so I'm not sure if better data is around or whatever, but Mayonnaise says, no, it's not. We gain about 20 tons a day from micrometeorites and lose around 90 tons a day in atmosphere. Oh, really? Okay. Again, like I said, it was a while ago that was doing the rounds, and the last time I saw, they were saying it was mass positive. Again, though, the stress on that is mass and not any particular element. It's not like we're gaining all elements at the same rate. But if you say so, Miami. Right. Now then. I think my character is no longer stinky. And we can probably head out. But I'm gonna wait until... Yeah, I'm gonna wait until dawn. But, oh, what are you? That's a locker. But we're going to go out and we're going to try and check in on the centrifuge.
Oxygen critical.
Gold is not falling from the sky. Disappointed. That is fair. That is fair. You don't need to worry about these, by the way. They've all got pressure release valves, so this place just off gases every now and then. Ah, there we go. We have finished a cycle. Perfection. All of this ready to smelt copper. Off-gassed and beautiful and ready to go. You're still in there, though, and that's annoying me. I don't know why you keep coming back. What are you made of? Oh, you know what this is? That is 2 grams of something like that'll be like 2 grams of something like Constantan from the filters, probably. looking to bring out the lead, if I'm honest. And the important thing is not to merge that with anything, otherwise it fully merges and then it's a mix of things again. Let's go. But chat, don't get too caught in the weeds over how much or how little mass we're gaining or losing. The point that you should be focusing on is it doesn't matter in a human time scale. Any effort that you put into calculating any of this really does not do anything for you. Right, I think, yeah, we're going to do a bit of a smelt. I'll turn you on. Right. Problem is, I need to empty you first. You're full of... Actually, not that much. Interestingly. And the stuff that is in there is quite cold. Let's go and grab... Yoink. That's what all that's being pushed out of the centrifuge right there. Turn you on. Let's start bleeding out some of this gas. There's not much in there. It will not take long to be pumped into the canister here. So we're just going to open it up fully. Probably about time for us to make some more fuel, actually. Yeah, there's barely any moles there. Yeah, I'm going to say we probably do need to make some more fuel, but is there some in there? No, no, we have actually drained the swamp completely. All right. Pipe stress is actually rising because it is still condensing, which is an issue. Yeah. All right. Just vent it. Don't. Just get rid of it. Oh, bum. I was not expecting that. I was expecting that to vent, but oh... probably can't vent, even at the top. Well, that's deeply annoying. Bugger. Alright. Well, that is a massive pain in the backside. Well, what I could do, actually, there, is I could pop some pipe radiators up there, just so that in the day it'll absorb a bit of heat from the sun. And it'll also chill things at night, so I need to be very careful of when I use it. But generally speaking, when it's a gas, it'll just vent nice and quickly. There. Right, let's turn this on. Do I have enough for insulated pipe? Nope. One steel, one silicon. Should have that. Silicon. Let's just tuck these over here for now. Look, wrong place. Oh, yeah.